Did you know that 95% of your thoughts are repetitive, and that these same thoughts shape your reality? Scientific research has already proven that the human mind can either create or destroy its own reality based on the beliefs we nurture. And what does this mean? It means that your financial life, your happiness, and even your health can be controlled by the way you think and feel. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? But I will prove to you that, by the end of this video, you will have the power to transform your life once and for all. What you're about to learn are universal truths that have changed the lives of millions of people around the world. And the most important part? The final key to applying all of this is in the last lesson, so stay with me until the end so you don't miss the most important piece of this puzzle. Excited? Then let's go. What you focus on expands. Have you noticed how, when you start your day worrying about something, everything around you seems to align to make things worse? This feeling is no coincidence. The science of neuroplasticity explains that our brain is shaped by the repetition of the same thought patterns. This means that what you think about most, feel, and believe, ends up becoming the foundation of your reality. The law of attraction puts it in simple terms: what you focus on expands. And here's the key to transforming your life. If you continue to focus on the lack of money, the weight of your bills, or the problems around you, you are, unknowingly, sending a powerful signal to the universe that you want more of this. That's the trap. The more you reinforce the problem in your mind, the more it perpetuates. But the good news is, the opposite is also true. When you change your focus, the reality around you begins to change. Think with me, why do people like Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, and Elon Musk always talk about visualizing the future they want to create, and not about the challenges they face? Because they understand that their focus is what creates opportunities. Steve Jobs used to say, innovation is saying no to 1,000 things to say yes to what matters. That, yes, is focus. Now, I want you to reflect on something. How many times in the last month have you been obsessing over financial problems? Thinking how money is never enough or life is getting harder? How do you think this impacts your mind and the opportunities around you? You might not even realize it, but simply reinforcing these beliefs is already limiting what you can achieve. Let's go through a practical example to illustrate how to apply this lesson today. Imagine a person who works all month, pays their bills, and at the end always feels like they are in the red. They start to worry and complain about the lack of money. Every time they talk or think about this, they are feeding a scarcity mindset. Now, imagine that this same person decides to change their focus. Instead of complaining, they spend a few minutes every day thinking about gratitude, not for what's missing, but for what they already have. Something like, I'm grateful for having paid my bills this month. I'm grateful for the health that allows me to work. Over time, this small habit creates a shift in how they perceive their reality, opening space to see opportunities that were previously hidden behind the fog of worry. Science also reinforces this idea. A study from the University of California revealed that individuals who practice gratitude regularly have a greater ability to solve problems and face challenges with resilience. This happens because, by focusing on the positive, the brain activates areas related to creativity and strategic thinking, allowing for better decision-making. But it doesn't stop there. I want you to imagine yourself sitting in front of a mirror right now. What are you reflecting? Is it a life of scarcity, worry, and fear? Or is it reflecting confidence, prosperity, and abundance? This reflection is not symbolic. It's real. What you see inside is what the world reflects back at you. If you think this is too abstract, I want you to consider the story of Jim Carrey. He is a living example of how the law of focus works. Before becoming one of the biggest Hollywood stars, he used to drive to the top of a hill in Los Angeles, look out at the city, and visualize the success he knew he would have. He wrote himself a check for the equivalent of 150 million Algerian dinars for acting services rendered and kept it in his pocket. For years, he focused on what it would be like to live that reality. And guess what? Years later, he received exactly that amount for his lead role in Dumb and Dumber Star. Now, let me challenge you. Over the next 7 days, I want you to focus solely on the positive aspects of your financial life. Whenever a negative thought comes to your mind, replace it with something like, I am prosperous. I am on the right path. Money is flowing to me. Write these positive thoughts down in a notebook, as a prosperity journal. At the end of the week, review how you feel and what has changed around you. Finally, I ask you, what if you had the power to change your life right now, simply by changing your focus? Wouldn't that be amazing? I want you to comment below, how do you feel about this? Do you believe you can change your reality by changing what you focus on? Let's have a conversation in the comments. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions we can experience, but most people only associate it with what they already have. What if I told you that the real secret of the law of attraction lies in feeling grateful for what you don't yet have, as though it's already yours? It may seem counterintuitive, but that's exactly what aligns your energy with the reality you wish to create. As Oprah Winfrey said, be thankful for what you have, and you'll end up having more. If you focus on what you don't have, you'll never have enough. Now, I want you to think about how we typically approach our dreams. Maybe you want more money, a bigger house, or the job of your dreams. But how do you feel about that on a daily basis? For many, the prevailing feeling is one of lack, anxiety, or even frustration over not having achieved their desires yet. These feelings, though natural, create an energetic barrier that prevents the flow of abundance. When you feel lack, you are vibrating on the frequency of absence. But when you feel gratitude, you are vibrating on the frequency of abundance, even before it manifests. Think of Jim Carrey's example, who carried that check for 150 million Algerian dinars in his pocket while feeling a deep sense of gratitude for an opportunity that, at the time, didn't even exist. He wasn't just passively waiting for the money to come to him, he was already living as though it had. He acted, but he acted from a place of trust, as if the check had already been deposited. This is the power of gratitude in advance. It shifts your mindset from waiting to creating. Imagine the following scenario. You're driving a simple car, but you desire a more modern model. Instead of looking at the luxury cars around you with envy or thinking, maybe one day, try something different. While driving, visualize what it would be like to be in the car of your dreams. Feel the texture of the steering wheel, listen to the sound of the engine, imagine the smell of the interior. And most importantly, feel deeply grateful as if you already have it in your life. This practice is more than just imagination. It's an exercise in energetic alignment. Science has something to say about this too. A study conducted by Indiana University showed that regular gratitude practices significantly increase dopamine levels, creating a cycle of positivity and motivation. When you feel grateful, your brain literally starts looking for more reasons to justify that feeling. It's as if you're training your mind to notice the opportunities and resources that have always been around you, but were previously ignored by your mindset focused on lack. Let's bring this to a practical reality. Imagine a person who desires a promotion at work. They could spend their days thinking about how it hasn't happened yet, or they could completely change their approach. This person can start each morning mentally saying, I'm grateful for the recognition and new opportunities that are coming my way. Even if the promotion hasn't happened yet, this attitude not only raises their vibration, but also influences the way they behave. An employee who acts with confidence and gratitude is more likely to be noticed and valued. Now, I want to challenge you. For 21 days, every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. But here's the catch, one of those things should be something you don't have yet, but want to manifest. For example, I'm grateful for the job of my dreams that's coming my way. As the days go by, notice how this practice starts shaping not just your thoughts, but also your emotions and actions. You might be thinking, does this really work, or is it just another mental game? Let me answer with a question, what do you have to lose? Feeling gratitude, even for something that isn't physically present yet, is an enriching experience in itself. And what do you have to gain? Well, the answer is simple, you'll be activating the same principle that great figures like Jim Carrey, Oprah Winfrey, and even Will Smith have used to shape their lives. Now, I want to hear from you, what is the thing you're going to start being grateful for, even before it arrives? Comment below. Detachment might sound like a difficult concept to accept, especially when you're talking about dreams and goals that are extremely important to you. After all, how can you not worry about something you desire so much? But here's the secret: the more you cling to the outcome, the more resistance you create. And resistance, as the law of attraction teaches, is exactly what blocks the natural flow of the things you desire. It's like trying to hold sand tightly in your hands. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. This is the effect of emotional and mental attachment to what you want. And this is why detachment is not about giving up on your dreams, it is about trusting that they will manifest at the right time and in the right way. Deepak Chopra, one of the leading experts in spirituality and author of the famous *7 Spiritual Laws of Success*, says, detachment is based on an unwavering trust in the wisdom of the universe. Now, think of something you deeply desire. It could be a salary increase, a happy relationship, or the success of a new venture. When you think about this goal, how do you feel? Anxious, worried, afraid that it might never happen? These feelings of doubt create a barrier between you and what you desire. The energy of detachment works because, by letting go of the need for a specific outcome, you open yourself to new possibilities. Let's translate this into a real-life example. Imagine someone desperately looking for a new job. This person spends days worrying, obsessively checking emails, updating their CV every hour, and constantly thinking, what if I don't get it? What will I do? These thoughts of doubt and intense need create a vibration of fear and scarcity which can push opportunities away. Now, see what happens when the same person applies the principle of detachment. They do everything within their power, sending CVs, preparing for interviews, and after that, they let go of the outcome. Instead of obsessing over it, they trust that they are on the right path and use their free time to focus on things that make them happy, such as hobbies, learning, or spending time with family. This state of trust and well-being completely changes their energy, making them more receptive to opportunities. Science also offers us a fascinating perspective on this. Research in the field of positive psychology shows that people who adopt a mindset of trust and detachment have lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. This means that by letting go of anxiety about outcomes, you literally create a healthier internal environment, making it easier to make better decisions and attract opportunities. A powerful example of detachment comes from J.K. Rowling, the author of *Harry Potter star. When she began submitting the manuscript for the first book, she received numerous rejections from publishers. Instead of giving up or panicking, she kept writing and trusting her work, even without a guarantee of success. By letting go of the need for immediate validation, she made room for the recognition that would come later, transforming her life and impacting millions of people. I want you to apply this in your own life. Think of a goal you have right now. Do everything possible within your control to achieve it, but then let go. Trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor. One practical way to do this is to create a simple affirmation and repeat it whenever you feel anxiety or doubt. I trust the process and know that everything is aligning for my greater good. And here's the challenge I want to propose to you. Over the next 14 days, choose one goal you have in mind. Do everything you can practically to move toward it, but commit to not worrying about the result. Whenever doubt or anxiety arise, take a deep breath and remember, you've already done your part. Watch how your energy shifts and how new ideas or opportunities begin to emerge. You might be thinking, if I let go, how can I ensure that things will happen? The answer is that detachment doesn't mean inaction, it means that you are acting with confidence, not with desperation. And this difference, though subtle, is what creates the space for the universe to deliver exactly what you need. Now, tell me, is there something in your life that you need to let go of to allow things to flow? How do you feel about that? I'd like you to share in the comments. Often, simply acknowledging this is a significant step towards emotional freedom and the manifestation of your desires. When you think about abundance, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Perhaps wealth, unlimited resources, or a life full of possibilities. However, true abundance begins long before it manifests in the physical world. It starts in the mind. The law of attraction teaches us that the way you perceive the world determines what you experience. If your mindset is trapped in a cycle of scarcity, believing that there is never enough, that money is hard to earn, or that opportunities are limited, your reality will reflect exactly that. And don't think of this as merely optimism or positive thinking. What we are talking about here is reprogramming the way your brain interprets the world around you. Neuroscience confirms that the brain has a natural bias to focus on problems and dangers, an evolutionary mechanism designed for our survival. But this same brain can be trained to see opportunities and abundance, even in the most challenging situations. This is why people who practice abundance thinking can find creative solutions and thrive, while others are paralyzed by limitation. A powerful example of this is Oprah Winfrey. She grew up in extreme poverty, in an environment that, for many, would define absolute scarcity. However, Oprah chose not to be limited by her external circumstances. Instead of focusing on what she lacked, she focused on what was possible. She used to say, "You cannot base your life on what life has already given you. You have to start believing that you can have more." This abundance mindset was the foundation for building an empire that impacts millions of people around the world. Now, stop for a moment and reflect on how you think about money. Do you see it as something difficult to attain? As something that is never enough? Or do you believe it is a fluid energy, available to anyone who knows how to align with it? This is the difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. The scarcity mindset sees the world as a zero-sum game, where in order for someone to win, another must lose. The abundance mindset recognizes that there are more than enough resources for everyone, as long as we know how to access them. I want you to consider a practical example. Imagine a person who is constantly worried about their finances. They look at their bank account and feel fear, because the numbers never seem sufficient. When this person thinks about investing, they hesitate because they believe they cannot afford to risk losing the little they have. This scarcity mindset keeps them in an endless cycle, where fear prevents them from growing. Now, compare that to someone who adopts an abundance mindset. Even if this person finds themselves in a tough financial situation, they choose to view money as a resource capable of growth. They invest in learning, look out for opportunities, and act with confidence even before results become apparent. This isn't about taking reckless risks, rather, it's about believing there's always something you can do to improve your financial circumstances. As Warren Buffett, one of the world's leading investors, famously stated, "The greatest mistake you can make is to let fear hold you back." Always invest in yourself first. The abundance mindset is, above all, about developing your ability to create and attract more. If you're wondering how to practically apply this approach in your life, here's a simple yet powerful exercise. For the next 30 days, start and end each day with a statement affirming abundance, such as, "Money is my ally, and it consistently flows towards me. Opportunities surround me everywhere, and I'm open to welcoming them." These statements might appear basic, but repeated frequently, they help reprogram your mind to see potential rather than obstacles. Another key step is becoming mindful of your thoughts and words throughout the day. Whenever you catch yourself in scarcity thinking, such as saying, "I can't afford that," or "That's impossible for me," replace it with phrases like, "I choose to create the resources necessary for this." This subtle shift in self-talk significantly impacts how you behave and the opportunities you attract into your life. And it's not just about money. An abundance mindset affects every aspect of your life, your relationships, your health, and even your overall happiness. Once you believe that the world is full of opportunities, you'll no longer settle for less than you truly deserve. I'd like to challenge you right now. For one entire week, intentionally practice abundant thinking. Each day, write down 3 examples of how you already experience abundance in your life. These examples could be as simple as having food on your table, people who care about you, or even the air you breathe. This habit trains your mind to focus on what you already have, rather than what you lack. Now, ask yourself, how would my life change if I began to embrace abundance today? Which limiting beliefs about money or success am I ready to release? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, as this discussion might mark the beginning of a powerful shift in your life. The law of attraction is often misunderstood as purely mental, suggesting that visualizing and wishing alone magically bring results. However, the secret that separates those who achieve their desires from those merely dreaming is action, not just any action, but inspired action, which arises naturally from alignment, confidence, and intuition rather than fear, worry, or obligation. As Tony Robbins once said, action forms the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. Without it, your vision remains nothing more than a dream. Inspired action differs from acting out of desperation or simply to keep busy. When your thoughts, emotions, and intentions align with your desires, ideas and opportunities appear almost spontaneously, as if the universe itself were guiding you. Here is the requested text following your instructions. But here is the critical point: there is no use in recognizing opportunities if you do not act upon them. Imagine, for example, a person who wants to start their own business. They spend days visualizing success, imagining their customers being happy, and even picturing themselves signing lucrative contracts. This is great, but without action, the visualization does not become reality. Now, imagine that during a casual conversation, someone mentions a course or an event related to the field that this person wants to enter. This is the perfect opportunity for inspired action. But what do many people do? They doubt, procrastinate, or let the opportunity slip by because they are still stuck in the fear of making mistakes or failing. Inspired action, on the other hand, is driven by the confidence that every small step has a purpose. It is not about knowing exactly how the entire process will unfold, but about taking the next step that is within your reach, even without a guarantee of the final outcome. Steve Jobs perfectly explained this when he said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards." So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. Now, think of something you want to manifest in your life. It could be a promotion, relationship, or even a complete career change. Ask yourself, what can I do today, right now, that brings me closer to that goal? It does not need to be something grand. Often, it is the small, consistent actions that create the greatest transformations. For example, if you want to change your career, your inspired action might be as simple as updating your CV or sending a message to someone in the field you wish to enter. If your goal is to improve your health, perhaps your first inspired action is simply going for a walk or researching a healthier diet. The important thing is to take action because it is in movement that doors begin to open. Science also reinforces the importance of aligning intention with action. Research in psychology shows that people who break large goals into smaller, practical actions have a higher chance of success. This happens because each small win generates a sense of progress, which fuels motivation and boosts confidence. A powerful example of inspired action is the story of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Before becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars, Arnold had a clear vision of what he wanted to achieve. He visualized his films being a global success and, at the same time, took practical actions within his reach, such as studying English, working on his stage presence, and even auditioning for smaller roles. His combination of positive mindset and consistent action was what opened the doors to opportunities that seemed impossible for someone from his humble background. Now, I want you to apply this to your own life. Choose a specific goal you want to manifest and ask yourself, what is the simplest and most practical action I can take today? Write down this action and commit to executing it within the next 48 hours. Once you complete it, choose the next action, and so on. You will be amazed at how quickly things begin to move when you combine clear intention with constant movement. Finally, I want to challenge you with a practical task. For the next 7 days, jot down every idea or intuition that comes to you related to your goal. Write everything down, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem. Then, every day, choose one of these ideas to put into action. This simple practice of acting on your intuitions will boost your confidence and create a positive cycle of movement towards your dreams. Now, let me ask you, what is the first action you can take today to get closer to what you want? Is there something within your reach that you haven't done yet? I'd like you to comment here and share your thoughts, because often, the simple decision to act is what separates desire from reality. Always remember that the bridge between where you are and where you want to be always begins with the first step. Your external reality starts in your mind, meaning, you must first create the image of your goal being realized in your mind, so that it can materialize externally. The law of attraction is real and it is working right now, whether you believe it or not. You are now one step away from becoming the person you have always wanted to be. In the next video, we will take another step and explore how to become 1% better every day. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, the life you desire is already waiting for you. All you have to do is believe and take action.